Who's on the phone, Gary?
His name is Daniel Holt.
Yes.
You might have read about him, I guess, in the Enquirer a couple of months ago. He's the guy that Richard Simmons, he says Richard Simmons paid him to spank him.
Oh, you got him on the phone?
Yeah, except he's a little groggy. He was confused that today was the day we were supposed to call, so I woke him up, but he's ready to talk.
All right. You know, hey, you don't have the article, do you? I guess I don't really need it, but...
Well,
you know, Richard Simmons is a friend of mine. Now, Richard says none of this is true, by the way.
Right. This guy says that he only spanked Richard twice personally.
I see.
But set it up hundreds of times, and that when Richard was around the country,
yeah,
he would, Richard would have him call and set it up for him.
All right. Is this Daniel?
Yeah, hi.
Hi, Daniel.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great.
Now, you sound a little nervous, are you?
No, not really nervous.
Oh, well, certainly this is a fascinating interview. Now, you know, Richard Simmons comes on this show all the time. At least he used to. I don't know if he's coming on lately. You ever hear him on our show?
No, I've never heard him on your show.
Yeah, well, he comes on all the time. Now, we read with some amazement your claim that you actually spanked Richard Simmons twice and sent up other guys to get spanked by him. Because, you know, Richard tells me he's asexual and never has any of this kind of stuff going on.
Well, Richard really has a thing for being spanked by daddies. He likes to be spanked by daddies.
Well, how do we know that this is true?
Were you paid for the story?
I was paid for the story, yeah, but I can tell you that there are dozens of call boys in West Hollywood and in New York, probably two, that spank Richard. He's really into it, and I think it's common knowledge among the call boys set.
Isn't that supposed to be a thing that isn't there supposed to be a certain professionalism? I mean, after all, aren't you hired in confidence? Let's say you did spank Richard Simmons.
And is all that he wanted was a spanking?
Yeah, you never went any further than that?
Well, let's just say that everything that went further than that will remain in confidence.
I see. So in other words...
you're only willing to talk about the spanking.
I can talk about the spankings, I can talk about the slappings, I can talk about the beatings, but anything other than that...
Had you ever spanked anyone before, Richard Simmons?
Oh, yes, I have spanked many people.
Is that your specialty?
Is that your specialty?
No, that's not my specialty.
I see. I'm wondering if, certainly I wouldn't mind a good spanking from,
you deserve one. You've been a bad boy.
I've been so bad just in the last 20 minutes. Now, so you say that you went up to, what happened? He called your service? This is your claim? I wish I had Richard on the phone. It would be great to have the two of them.
It would be interesting to see you two confront each other.
Well, actually, originally he called an agency that I worked for in New York, and I went up to his suite in the Waldorf Astoria Hotel, and
what year was this?
That would have been 1983.
83, as far back as that.
That predates us knowing him.
Yeah, maybe that was his past, and he hasn't done it recently. So now what was he wearing when you walked into the room?
When I walked into the room, he was wearing white. That's all I can remember. He was wearing white.
A vision in white.
But I know that he used to greet some of my boys at the door in pink baby doll.
Pink baby doll what, pajamas?
Yeah, pajamas. Little nighties, little girls' nighties.
Oh, dear.
And pink was the color.
You're kidding me.
I swear to God.
Really? Now, what about you? Are you a homosexual?
I am a homosexual, yes.
I see. So you do these kind of acts on other guys mostly, never with women, right?
I've never spanked women, no.
No, okay. Have you ever slept with a woman?
Yes, I have.
Oh, you have?
Yes, I have.
And you didn't like it, huh?
I did like it, yes, it was fine.
Oh, you did like it?
Yes.
Wow.
I did porno films with men, women.
No animals?
No animals.
I see.
No.
But what after women? Men, women, there wasn't...
Yeah, it sounded like there was another...
Well, what else did you do?
What else? What's left?
Well, there was Big Mama Jama.
Big Mama Jama?
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
You got me stumped.
She was very big.
I see. You were with Big Mama Jama, who was a big fat woman?
Yeah.
I see. And you had sex with her.
Yeah.
Now, as a homosexual, wasn't it difficult to get aroused for Big Mama Jama?
It was a bit difficult.
But you managed to do it.
I imagine it would have been difficult for a heterosexual man as well.
Yes, indeed. I know I can't go for Big Mama Jama. I couldn't even go for Roseanne. Never mind Big Mama Jama.
Yeah.
So then you go up to the room, and there he is, Richard Simmons, and you must say to yourself, my God, did you know you were going to Richard Simmons' room?
Well, you know, he was not real famous back then.
He wasn't in 1983 famous?
I don't think so.
That was probably during that downtime, Howard. You know, he had a peak in the 70s, and then there was a lull period.
And yet, Robin, he was very famous. I mean, he was on all the talk shows. I mean, you knew it was Richard Simmons, right?
Yeah, I knew it was. I didn't like him. I was like not really excited about having to go see him because.
You mean you weren't physically? You mean I would think it would be an honor to be a call boy, as you say, and then go to Richard Simmons' room.
I thought he was very obnoxious.
You did? You mean just from the TV shows
Before
that you
you
saw?
met him.
I see.
Yeah, before I met him, and but you know, then we developed a relationship.
Well, let's not jump ahead here. Let me get the full story here. Let me get the full impact of this. By the way, I can't tell you that I 100% believe this because Richard would what? Kill us if we said that. Now, so you walk in the room, according to your story, and there he is wearing white. What? Like the captain on the Love Boat kind of white?
Well, he was wearing like a bathrobe.
And you looked at him and you said, "I'm not physically attracted to this man."
Well, I didn't say that out loud,
But you were thinking it.
I thought it to myself.
And you walked in the room, and he greeted you with what? A handshake?
He said, I'm watching this movie of the week. Would you just sit there and wait while I finish watching this movie?
So he asked you to sit down.
So he had me wait for about an hour
While
he watched this movie.
Well, you basically watched the movie with him.
you had a date. You watched the movie with him, right?
Kind of, yeah. Well, he was, you know, yeah.
Was he looking over at you during the movie at all?
No.
He didn't even look at you.
He
No,
was-
he didn't start our session till the movie was over.
I see.
He was very, you know,
Very into this movie, huh?
yeah.
What movie would that have been?
I couldn't tell you.
I see. And you obviously were just ready to have a session.
Yeah.
Were you getting excited during the movie? This waiting period must have made you very horny.
No, it irritated me.
It irritated you because, hey, you're there, you have a job to do, and you want to perform.
Time
it.
is money in your
Right.
business.
And did you know you were there specifically to spank, or you didn't know what you were going to be doing?
I didn't know what we were going to do.
All right, so then the movie is over, and Richard says to you what?
Well, then we had our session.
Well, what is a session? In other words,
How did he get from the movie to you?
Well, the first time I don't think that we actually did a spanking thing. The first time we did it was much more romantic.
really?
Except that I remember that that he tried to like remove my tongue.
Remove your tongue?
Remove my tongue.
I do that to Fred.
He tried to suck my tongue.
I see.
He tried to bite my tongue off is what he tried to do with his mouth, and it was.
Are you saying Richard's rough?
I'd say it's rough.
He is rough.
Rough.
Well,
Very rough.
Well, let me say something in Richard's defense here, that, you know, there must be a lot of people saying to themselves, hey, maybe this guy just wants to get some attention off of Richard's good name.
Well, no.
Have you ever gone out with other celebrities?
Have I ever gone out with them?
Yeah.
You know, done sessions, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about those.
No,
I just
understand.
wondered why Richard?
Yeah, why pick on Richard?
Well, you know, it just seems to me that he's promoting self-image, and you know, you have to feel good about yourself,
Right.
and all of that, and it just seems to me that he can't feel awfully good about himself if he's into all these beatings, and there's just a hypocrisy going on there. And,
Well, why are you judge and jury?
So
though?
you're going to
You're gonna straighten him
unveil
out.
all the hypocrisy.
Well, I don't know if I can cure it, but I think that, you know, he's got to get a little bit more honest.
But why should a guy be honest about his sex life? Seriously, why can't a guy be an exercise guru? And I'm being serious. Why can't a guy be an exercise guru type and in private life enjoy a little spanking? I mean, is that so
Quite frankly,
wrong?
I don't know what Howard's into sexually.
Nothing. Trust me on that. I'm leading the life Richard says he's leading.
You can't hire 2, 3, 4 people in a day to come and spank you and beat you.
How
And
come nobody else has come forward, though?
Well, because they felt that it was done in confidence. I would imagine.
I don't know why he's so upset.
I don't know why you're upset and no one else is. But okay, so you see it as hypocritical, but I also think it's the money. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's face it, it becomes tempting to tattletale. True?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why are you being hypocritical?
Did you approach the...
No, but isn't he being
tabloid?
hypocritical? Isn't he
Yes,
being hypocritical?
Absolutely. He did something in confidence with Richard Simmons, he claims.
Right.
And now he's tattling.
Seriously, that's a bit of a hypocrite, true?
Well, perhaps.
All right. Yeah, what do you care, right?
And the other thing that I don't understand is why you think you're in a position to teach Richard Simmons a lesson.
Yeah, everybody wants to teach everyone a lesson. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not teaching anybody any lessons. I'm just, I've got some stories to tell. If anyone wants to listen, they can listen.
All right, so let's get back to the story. Now, that's a very honest thing to say, actually. Well, you see, first you were trying to say, I did it because it's hypocritical.
Hypocrisy.
Yeah, but I don't think that's why people do it. They don't really want to teach anybody a lesson. Now, anyway, let's get back to it. So you walk in the room, and then it was somewhat romantic, and the second time, now you say beatings occurred?
Well, not beatings like to draw blood, but, you know, he was into some pretty heavy spankings.
So, in other words, what would you do? You would pull down his pants?
Well, no, one would already be, you know...
nude?
Nude.
And they would get over your lap?
He would, yeah, it was not so much spankings on the butt, but like slapping in the face. He was into,
He slapped you or you slapped him?
He would provoke someone to slap him back if that's what it took, but he would just want kind of his daddy's girl been a bad girl and slapping him in his face and daddy's girl's been a bad girl and
Wait a minute, I don't understand, Howard. You have to explain this to me.
Well, you know, the guy goes...
Who's hitting who?
I think he would provoke you and say, Daddy's girl's been a bad girl, bad girl, bad girl. And then you get so annoying, you smack him one in the face.
But Richard can't walk around with marks on his face. Why would he be encouraging people to hit him in the face?
Well, a little love tap, and then you maybe get a little rougher with it.
It's like you blow your cheeks out, you know, and you make lots of noise. It was more like noise spanking.
All right, do an impression of Richard Simmons asking you for a spanking. Go ahead. Daddy been a bad... Go ahead, do that again. I'll Robin here.
Daddy's girl's been a bad girl.
I love it. So you're telling me that my pal...
Your buddy.
My buddy.
Guy wants to go to the movies with you.
Well, I don't believe it. I can't believe it. I just can't.
And how long would these sessions last?
Well, they would last for an hour and a half.
Of all that, Daddy's girl's gonna get... I'd have beat him to death.
He'd be dead.
An hour and a half, and then you go into overtime.
Well, certainly these are interesting accusations, but again, we must point out that they are only accusations.
Now, I do remember from the story that you claimed there was one night or something where he had several people?
Well, there were many, many nights that he had several people.
Wow.
And so we do this one after the other after the other?
One after the other.
Really? You know, if he ever comes in here again, I'm going to spank him. I'm going to spank him.
Just grab him and say, Daddy's girl's been a bad girl, and start wailing.
I'm going to wail on him. I'm going to spank his tuchus. I'm going to give him a good spanking.
Now, did he ever get over your lap?
He never got over my lap, no.
But did he like to be paddled on the rear?
So you're saying you would just slug him in the face?
But he liked to be, yes, he did like to be paddled in the rear. I would say paddling, he'd like to get into all kinds of fantasy, things with the boys. You know, and he got, as the years went on, I think they got more and more involved and more, creative.
More story playing.
I know that he would call me up from all over the country and want somebody sent over, you know, wherever he was. I remember one time he woke me up about 4 o'clock in the morning. He was in Jackson, Mississippi, and he wanted to know if I had anybody in Jackson, Mississippi. And I told him no, and he was very disappointed.
Well, yeah, it's hard to find somebody in Jackson.
Yeah, when you need a good spanking, you need it.
Although if you run through the woods, those hillbillies will find you and they'll smack you around a little bit.
But you can't control them.
No. Well, it's certainly a fascinating story, and I want to thank you for calling in with it.
So I guess Richard's not calling anymore.
Richard doesn't call you anymore? He must be upset with you.
I'm not in that business anymore.
What business are you in now?
I am not in business at all anymore.
Are you running for senator, or you're not in business at all?
No.
You're retired.
I'm retired.
Really? You don't do anything? You mean you made so much money you don't have to do anything?
Well, no, I'm writing now. I've written a play.
Oh, I see. So you are doing something. You're writing.
Doing something, but...
And you're able to support yourself as a writer?
Well, no, not yet, but just trying to get my play.
So how do you do that? How do you make enough money?
Yeah, because I want to quit and become a writer.
Yeah, Robin and I are both thinking of becoming writers. How do we do that? Tell me.
I couldn't tell you how to do it.
Now, how come you can live the life?
You saved a bunch of money?
Yeah, I saved money over the years.
You have enough money that you could retire, or do you have a sugar daddy who supports you?
No.
No, because I imagine you're in demand. I mean, if people were willing to pay you.
Never take a session just to make ends meet.
No.
No sessions.
No sessions.
Whatsoever.
No sessions. No.
Interesting.
Now, why did you get out of the business? You like the business.
Yeah, I mean, imagine spanking celebrities to make money. I think I would enjoy that.
I traveled for a while, and now I'm just, you know, getting a little older. I don't want to do that anymore.
I see. Well, what if maybe I'll bring you out of retirement and have you spank me around a little bit.
Daddy's girl been a bad girl.
I've been a bad girl. Howie been a bad girl.
Howina.
Would Richard give himself a different name during these sessions?
No.
I see. Well, okay. Well, there's a story. I mean, you know, the audience has to decide for itself what the hell's going on
That's what he said. He has some stories to tell. Anybody who wants to listen can.
In all fairness, Richard Simmons said to me on this air, he said,
oh, it's so ridiculous.
He said, it's so ridiculous, I won't even respond to it. He says it's absolutely untrue. Just so you know both sides of the story.
And when was the last time you had a session with Richard?
That I had a session with him?
Or sent someone to have a session with him?
Oh, well, I stopped sending people out in 1988, so it would have been early 88 or late 87.
And why did you come forward with the story now in 1992?
Money.
Money. Okay.
I see. So you're selling stories about so you could be talking about other celebrities when the need arises.
When the need arises.
Right. Interesting. Well, everybody watch out.
I just want to know, where was the last hotel in New York that you sent somebody for Richard Simmons?
The last hotel?
Yes.
I moved to California in 84. I sent people to his house after that.
Oh, you never sent anybody to New York? Or got him somebody in New York in 88?
I got him people in New York, but I don't remember exactly.
I see. Well, okay.
I don't remember. I don't think I was sending people out to him in New York.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
I'm just trying to verify the story.
Well, I understand that, Robin. You're like an investigative reporter.
Didn't get anything to help me out.
Well, hey, you know, if it is true and a guy wants a couple of spankings, what the hell? It doesn't bother me.
It doesn't sound like an illegal activity to me.
No, sounds all right. I mean, a little weird, but it sounds all right.
I don't know.
If I had known all these years that I've been interviewing Richard that he likes this sort of thing, I would do it for him.
You know, maybe that's why he's upset with you.
That I don't do it.
He goaded you enough.
He certainly has goaded me. I think that's why he likes me, because I don't take any crap from him. You see, I know he's a bad girl. What happened, Robin? You just fell down on the floor.
I dropped my ring.
Oh, I see. In the middle of a broadcast. All right. Well, there you go. Fascinating story, nevertheless, right?
Oh, terribly so.
Terribly so. We never get sick of it. All right, we'll take a break.
I noticed that the Globe has pinpointed that as one of the best stories of 1992.
Oh, is that right?
The Richard Simmons spanking story.
All right, we'll take